to another. We moved from Iowa, of all places, to Wisconsin. And I was in 7th grade, and it was the first day. And you don't have gym clothes, you don't have anything like that. And it was the first day of school, and I had to sign up for PE and go to PE class. And for some reason at the time, I had one set of clothes. That was it. And so it was kind of embarrassing because everybody else is doing PE, and I'm going to be part of it. And I'm wearing jeans and this long shirt with a collar. It's terrible, like thick felt kind of thing. And anyway, I got to do that for PE. So it came time for picking teams. No one knew who I was. And so there was that awkward moment at the end where there's 3 of us standing there, and they picked this person, and they're going to pick me last, and they picked that person, and I was the last one. To me, that's one of the most awkward, uncomfortable situations for everybody, right? If you're on this team, around because if you've already been picked, it's awkward for those on the team, and then really awkward for the one that's waiting last. Some of you were good at sports in PE, and you loved it. Some of you failed it. I'm like, how do you fail PE? But some wouldn't fail PE. And so we went out and played this thing called Ultimate Frisbee. Anyone played Ultimate Frisbee before? Alright, so we went and played Ultimate Frisbee, but what they didn't know is I was like Speedy Gonzalez. Alright, I was Andele Arriba, and I was running. I was going to show everybody I was good and should not have been picked last. And so the Frisbee's thrown, and I'm running, and there's no one can catch me. No one. And I'm running down, and they're like, they knew my last name, that's it. And they were screaming at me. These boys were like, Thompson, we're going to kill you. And I'm like, so I'm running even faster. And so I get down there, and I sort of moved to the top of the ranks after that day. But that's a real awkward moment, I think, for anyone who grew up and is part of a situation like that, where you get picked last. And sadly, then what I did through the rest of my life, because I was normally the head of the team, is I would do the exact same thing. And you always got to the end where, who are you going to pick? Which one's going to be the worst liability? Or the best liability? However you want to say it. Which one's would be best for the team? And so it's just awkward, and you hate to do it that way, and really they don't get involved. And most times, if you were that kid, that happened your whole life, all through school. Unless you had a friend where sometimes the PE teacher would switch it, and they'd put like the weakest to be a captain, and they would pick all their friends who would normally get like last, and all the jocks are like waiting to let us in, and finally they'd get in. Has a little bit to do with our calling. I want to show you a scripture, and this is sort of a continuation of what I talked about last week. We talked a little bit about the foolishness thing, how people who want to gain salvation any other way than just accepting Jesus, he's kind of saying that's foolish. But the cross to those same people is foolish, because they want to work, they want to be good, they want to have enlightenment or use reason in order to find salvation. They want to do all these things. It's like they call the cross foolishness, but really they are. And he continues, and that's where I'm going at today. Because remember, part of this was a group of people that were like, I came to the gospel through Paul, and I came to the gospel through this person and that person. And they were divided, and there was strife among them. And so he's like, it's a simple message, and you're only here because of that. All right. So he goes on and says, brother, think of what you were when you were called. All right. So just stop there for a second. Think of what you were when you were called. And you can use that little PE illustration, analogy, whatever it might be in your life. But think about what you were when you were called. I know some great people. And I know some great people that belong to this church, and I know some great people that belong to other churches. I think of one fellow who was a good friend of mine that spent most of his time doing drugs, taking meth, and selling them. And the only way that he would come to church is if he was high. It would be the only way he could come to church. And eventually something happened in his life, and that sort of all changed. I think of another friend that I have who was in the military and suffers from what they call PTSD. and copes in different ways. One likes to hit the bottle, but he believes in God.